All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. At 5-5, the Buffalo Bills are more than just mathematically alive to make the postseason, in spite of the fact that they are currently on the outside looking in of the playoff picture in the AFC. But my question right now is whether or not that the title window has closed for these Bills. I say this and I bring this up because in 5 of the last 6 seasons, the Bills have made the playoffs, but football's holy grail, the Super Bowl, has not been within their grasp. So many what ifs for the Bills in January in the postseason. Go back to the 2019 wild card round when they blew that 16 to nothing lead to the Houston Texans. They got to the AFC Championship game in 2020, only to be overwhelmed there by Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Then they faced the Chiefs in the divisional round in 2021 in that epic battle that saw Josh Allen go toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes. And of course, unfortunately for the folks in Western New York, 13 seconds is now up there with wide right. And of course, last year's meltdown in the divisional round at home to the Cincinnati Bengals in the snow. But the 2023 version of the Bills might not have that opportunity to let their fans down in January, as they might be watching the playoffs at home with us. So far this season, Buffalo, and it's not just this season, it has been in years past as times as well, but mainly this season, excuse me, Buffalo has not handled their business against the teams that they were expected to beat. You go back to week number one, and of course, nobody expected the situation to play out like it did. The Jets lost Aaron Rodgers on their first drive of the season, and the Bills were unable to take advantage of the Jets' sans Aaron Rodgers as they lost that game. The Bills are only just one of the two teams, along with the Jets, that the New England Patriots have beaten this season. Then, about a week and a half ago on Sunday Night Football, Buffalo, they had their chances in that contest against Cincinnati at home, on the road rather, and lost. And then, of course, the heartbreaking loss this past Monday night to a Denver Broncos team that they were heavily favored against at home. And, once you factor all of that in, of course, you got the turnover prone Josh Allen. And honestly, for my money, some people are going to agree with what I'm about to say, and some people will disagree, and it's all good. But for me, Josh Allen is the Dak Prescott of the AFC because he turns the football over so much. 11 interceptions so far this season, and he's well on his way to setting a career mark for himself in that category. He threw 15 interceptions just 2 years ago, and now I think with so much football left, he's well on his way to exceed that. Each of the last 6 games that the Bills have played, Josh Allen has thrown at least one interception, which included two on Monday night against the Broncos, as well as a fumble. And then, of course, things didn't get started on the right foot for him this season as he threw three in week number one against the New York Jets. You look at it, all of the talent in the world for Josh Allen. Don't get me wrong, very strong arm, and I think that's a big reason why he was taken in the first round by the Bills several years back, due to his strong throwing arm, being able to sit up there and throw that football comfortably in the elements of Western New York. But at the same time, your turnovers are hindering the opportunities for this team to go out there and win. And as a whole, for the Bills, as they lost on Monday night at home to the Broncos, they only possessed the football for a little bit more than 22 minutes. We saw Denver convert on 8 of 19 of their third down attempts. They continuously moved the chains. And even with that, Buffalo still had an opportunity to win that game. But of course, 12 men on the field resulted in on the missed field goal for Will Lutz, gave Lutz and the Broncos new life. And of course, he took advantage of that as Denver was able to go on and get the victory. And what did we see right after that? Offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey got his walking papers. And for my money, it's this. If Lutz misses that field goal, and of course, if there's not 12 guys on the field, are we having this conversation about Ken Dorsey right now? I don't think so. Now, Buffalo, people can say that Buffalo's offense has been stuck in the mud in recent games, but nonetheless, I think it starts at the head coach, and I think it starts at the top because this team, and I'm sure Sean McDermott is doing his part to get his team prepared to play, but they have not gone out there and seized the moment. And I've talked about this before with teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, and of course, previously with the New England Patriots and Tom Brady. You always wonder why these teams consistently had home field advantage in the playoffs. And the reason for it, they go out there and they take care of their business against the teams that they're supposed to beat. And Buffalo has had too many opportunities this year to take care of their business, and they didn't. There's no reason they should have lost at home this Monday night to the Broncos. I know, excuse me, that Denver is playing a better brand of football right now in comparison to when the season started. But nonetheless, if you're Buffalo, you got to take care of your business. There's no reason why Buffalo should have lost a couple of weeks ago to the New England Patriots, and even going back to week number one with a Jets team with Zach Wilson at quarterback and no Aaron Rodgers. You got to go out there and handle your business, and they simply have not done that. And for Buffalo, they got to get their ship righted. But to get their ship righted, it's not going to be easy because you're looking at it right now. They got the Jets at home this Sunday. This is a must win. Okay. And the Jets, especially under Robert Sala, have always given the Bills very hard times because he throws so many different looks, so many different pressures at Josh Allen. It makes life tough for this quarterback, but the Bills got to find a way to win this game. Right after that, they're at Philadelphia. Then they have their bye, coming out of their bye at Kansas City, home for Dallas, at the Chargers, their final home game of the season in week number 17 against the Patriots, and then finishing up on the road at Miami in a contest that could determine who wins the AFC East. But nonetheless, you look at the standings right now. Buffalo, they're 5-5, and it's a log jam right there for 5-win teams. Both the Texans or Bengals are 5-4. You got the Colts, Bills, and Raiders at 5-5, and then right behind them, you got the Chargers, the Jets, and the Broncos all at 4-5. So Buffalo right now is currently 10th in the standings. Obviously, the top 7 teams go to the postseason, but right now, if you're Buffalo, you really don't have a lot of wiggle room going forward, especially with the schedule. People are going to talk about the tweets about Trayvon Diggs, about his brother, the wide receiver Stephon Diggs, with the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, a lot of frustration there, but nonetheless, this team's got to get it going. And their playoffs, in my opinion, start right now. This is early to mid-November right now, but nonetheless, Buffalo's got to be in playoff mode. So we're going to see if it happens for the Bills this year. It's going to be easier said than done. But for my money, I feel like Buffalo's best opportunity to win the championship was 2021. I think that Buffalo team was stacked. We saw the heartbreaking loss that they had to the Kansas City Chiefs in the postseason. And honestly, for me, for my money with Josh Allen, I don't think that Josh Allen has been the same quarterback since Brian Daboll left to become the head coach of the Giants. That's just my personal opinion. But nonetheless, let's see how things are going to look for him in this offense with Joe Brady going forward. And honestly, let's see how it looks for this team because again, it's gut check time. So over the next 2 months, we're going to find out what the Bills have, whether they have what it takes to get to the postseason or not. And even if they get to the postseason, do they have the ability to make some noise there? Plenty of talent on this team. I know they're dealing with injuries. A lot of teams are this time of the year. But right now, for the folks in Western New York, it's put up or shut up. So let's see what the Bills are going to do down the stretch here this season. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.